Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, I have never, ever liked the way this plane that was shot out of the sky over Ukraine. I do not like how that was nobody likes how that was handled. I don't like the spin we've heard on the media. I don't like the fact that Russia didn't want to take any responsibility for it. I don't like the fact that the pro-separatist Russian rebels wouldn't let anybody get into the crash site. I don't like the way the bodies were mishandled and disrespected, and many laid out in the fields and thrown on the boxcars of trains. I mean, what is wrong with the savagery of this whole situation? The deception and the lies. Then my wife reminded me. She said, Paul, do you remember 6 months ago you had a dream? In this dream, you said there was buses, school buses. And folks, I seen the children coming out of school to get on these buses. But there was one person carrying a cage. And in the cage was a blue racer snake. Now, I didn't know it was a blue racer at the time. It was a blue snake. And the person was getting ready to get onto this one bus with this cage with this blue snake on it. And in my dream, my wife Heidi ran, stopped the person, stuck her hand into the cage because the top of the cage was open. Stuck her hand into the cage, grabbed the snake by the head, put her thumb on it, and clamped down and pulled that snake out of there to get it out of there so it wouldn't be put on the bus. Well, as I was in this dream, as I was looking at, you get details. A blue snake was totally different for me. And then the bus number, I'll never forget it. The bus number was 717. Even when I woke up, that number, 717, was almost like it was ingrained in my brain. I went on the air. I was so disturbed by this dream that I actually went on the air live, and I shared this with my live audience of over 12, 13, 1,400 people, plus thousands on radio. I just said, look, this is what I saw. Well, the people quickly said, look, that's a blue racer. They sent me pictures quickly, and it was. It was identical to what I saw in the dream. I kept saying, but what about the bus number, 717? 717. What was so significant about the number? I had no idea. And then the plane was shot down. The Malaysian flight headed back to Malaysia, coming across the skies of eastern Ukraine, shot down. The day it was shot down, folks, was July the 17th, 2014, or 717. And the flight number was 17. And there was over 100 children on that plane that died. Is this just a coincidence? I'm asking you. Was it a coincidence? Or was God trying to show me that the children were in trouble on this day? And besides that, I'm feeling my spirit that there's more and more and more children in danger yet in Ukraine. And it's affecting people around the world because those kids that died were not even from Ukraine. I'm very concerned about what God is trying to show the body of Christ in these last days. Please, give your life to Jesus Christ. I'm going to play for you. The Dutch definitely know the plane was shot out of the air, and they've done some extensive research on it, and I'm going to play their report right now that was just released on USA Today by the authorities there. All right? Let's see if I can get this to play. Without a commercial, please.
The Malaysian Airlines flight that crashed over eastern Ukraine was hit by multiple high-energy objects from outside the plane. Those are the initial findings of a report by the Dutch Safety Board released Tuesday.
The pattern created by the wreckage on the ground suggests an in-flight breakup of the aircraft.
The Dutch team has been investigating since the plane went down in July, killing all 298 people on board, about 2/3 of them from the Netherlands. Because of the ongoing conflict between pro-Russian rebels and Ukrainian forces in the area, investigators have not visited the fields where the wreckage of Flight 17 plunged to the ground. Instead, they've relied on photos of the crash site, radar data, and information gleaned from the downed jet's black boxes.
Listening to the communications among the crew members in the cockpit via the cockpit voice recorder revealed no sign of any technical faults or an emergency situation.
The report stops short of saying the Boeing 777 was shot down by a missile, but appears to suggest that. Ukraine has accused pro-Russian separatists for bringing down the plane with a surface-to-air missile, and Ukraine's director of international security told CNN Russia was directly responsible.
You believe that was a Russian?
Absolutely.
A Russian-trained?
A Russian-trained, well-equipped, well-educated officer.
Who pushed that button?
Who pushed the button.
And do you think at this
Deliberately.
Russia and the separatists have repeatedly denied any involvement. The board's chairman said they believe more evidence will become available in the coming months.
The Dutch Safety Board wishes to determine the cause of the crash for the sake of the loved ones of the victims and for society at large.
They plan to have a final report out by the first anniversary of the crash.
Folks, please be in prayer for Ukraine, because it's not nearly over. President Putin has already annexed Crimea and is in the process of taking eastern Ukraine. He's already saying that eastern Ukraine should have a discussion about its statehood, or in other words, where it should be. So he's wanting to take eastern Ukraine as well. He won't stop there. If you read in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel 38 and 39, the bear of the north is awake and is prowling. And it's not just what Russia's doing. It's the beginning of the prophecies of Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 and 39. The other nations as well. Iran, which is Persia, certainly, as they're building nuclear weapons and they're talking of annihilation of Israel. Turkey already told Israel that they're going to have to swim in their own blood because of what happened in Gaza. Ethiopia and Libya, both being overrun by radical Islamic jihadists whose hatred of Israel is unbelievable. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is all the pieces of the end-time puzzle are on the table. We're running out of time. Give your life to Jesus Christ before it's too late, and pray for the children. The children.